they don't record it before October or November of 62. So it could certainly come out quick, you know.
I think that one, once they got that down, like it's like they just pressed it and released it, you know, and immediately, like, you know, and I'm sure Brian did buy a bunch of stuff for stores up north and stuff like that, and kind of stack the deck a little bit.
So speaking of that, today, you know, I've been peeking up my fancy auctions, and so today, an original British "Love Me Do," no picture sleeve or anything. I don't know if it even had one. The label is signed by all four Beatles, sold at Bonham's auction house. How much do you think it went for?
$200,000.
It's a 45. It's not one of a kind or anything.
Oh, okay.
But it's signed by all of them. 16 grand.
Wow.
I was going to say, like,
Almost reasonable.
Okay.
Whereas a handwritten set list by Paul, bidding
what did
was
that go for?
Bidding was to start at $130,000. No takers.
130.
I remember you mentioning that, so it never got off the ground.
Lot passed.
What year was the set list from? Like back in the day?
60. Yeah, like 60. It's it's like one of the oldest set lists known, and it's handwritten by Paul, and it has, you know, Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow, Red Sails in the Sunset, you know,
Besame Mucho.
Yeah. Besame Mucho. But right, and Besame Mucho was like the Drifters or something did it. Like it was kind of, there was some cool.
I've heard people talk about the big three. I've heard people talk about the Swingin' Blue Jeans version. But for my money, Paul McCartney doing Hippie Hippie Shake is he does it the best, and the Beatles rock. It's a great song in that traditional kind of boogie. Like that's a little shuffle that everybody does. You know what I mean? But they own it, and they own that moment.
And they did it first in the UK. Like they got the single. It's like Chan Romano, I think, was the guy who did it. Chaz.
No, it's Chan. I don't recall.
It's Chan with an
Chan. Yeah, we covered.
Chaz.
We tracked this down.
And he. Paul somehow heard the single, heard Bob Willer playing the single, like in between sets or something like that, and asked him for it. He borrowed it and learned it, and so they were the first to play it.
What do you know about this guy James Ray? That they did a couple of his songs. He mentions him.
James Ray.
And he actually wrote. It's a song that George Harrison covers in his later careers. The I Got My Mind Set on You.
The mindset on you. Yeah.
But they Itty Bitty Pieces, A Miracle, If You Gotta Make a Fool of Somebody.
I just, when I go and listen to his stuff sounds a tad corny to me. Like it's a little like lightweight rockabilly, but you know, it's.
But they said they picked up like that kind of 3/4 time stuff from him, or this certain rhythm that he was doing.
Chris, what's that original song that's What I Say and then became Day Tripper? The guitar line. That's
right.
Yeah, that's the one that's I
Isn't that Ray though? I mean, isn't it What I Say? Or is there an earlier version of that?
Yeah, but Day Tripper is like John Lennon justifies Day Tripper because, oh, well, I based it on this song, which is based on What I Say anyway. So it's not really ripping it off. It's just me evolving it.
Day Tripper? That's not an original.
That to me sounds like a Paul McCartney line.
It's a Paul McCartney-ish,
bass line for sure.
Bass line, like he rocks that. Like that's
totally how I would pick up on it. The way the bass lines that he does.
It starts off with the guitar, and then Paul joins him on the second go through. It's like down, bass, and it's right. It's killer.
It's a total lick that you would hear. You expect Paul McCartney.
I thought it was a Beatle lick.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you know what?
What do you got on that, John? You're saying that's a version of What I Say.
Watch Your Step by Bobby Parker.
Bobby who?
Bobby Parker.
Watch Your Step is like John Lennon mentions that song a lot.
That's what that. Okay, now I'm going to find that one. Bobby Parker.
Oh yeah, there you go. He picks up the beginning of it. Yeah.
It's not quite. It's clearly it's not the same riff, but it's right. I can see it's like. Right. It's based around.
Oh no!
But how many other bands are like, the Rolling Stones go dan 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 dan,
Which, by the way, that one is Dancing in the Street. Dun, 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 dun.
Go back to that second, because that's not Day Tripper. That's the other song they do. Because
Tony's getting the guitar out, everybody. This is getting exciting. That's I Feel Fine.
That's what he's listening. That song you just played is what he's referencing. Then
I think he was inspired for both those riffs.
Yeah, that sounds
from
cool.
that same.
He mentions that song quite a bit.
Yeah.
Watch Your Step is like that's a favorite. Ray Parker, right? Ray Parker?
Bobby
Parker.
Ray Parker's the Ghostbusters guy.
Right?
Yeah.
Here you go. But it's all What I Say.
Then, so that guy's song goes back to What I Say?
Yeah. That's what he's saying. It's like, that's What I Say played on the guitar instead of saying, come on, you cave dwellers.
Right.
Ding, 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 ding.
And what was the... I thought there was two songs that you mentioned. There was the one you played, and then was there another one? So they're referencing two different songs? Or do I have it backwards?
What I Say is
what I Say.
Okay. I thought there was something else. Sorry. Yep.
And Watch Your Step.
To Day Tripper. To I Feel Fine.
No, I thought...
But probably, I guess, I Feel Fine first, then Day Tripper.
Right.
So.
Yes.
Which I saw the Bad Brains do Day Tripper, and that was a great version.
A little faster.
Or maybe it was a little reggae.
There's a Jimi Hendrix version of Day Tripper on that BBC.
Yeah,
that's a good little, and you can tell it's kind of slapdash, but they totally pull it off, and you're like right on because it's fucking Jimmy, right? So
what I was going to say based on the story you were telling, John, that they immediately the day an Elvis song would come out, they would have it down.
Yeah.
So they're doing to Elvis what Jimi Hendrix did to them at some point, where they had.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. But that point the Elvis is making cheesy movies, but I mean the Beatles did that with a lot of stuff, but I don't.
But Jimmy also did it right in front of their faces too, so that's the difference right there.
That's true. Elvis was not sitting in the front row.
Right.
And it's like what, the day or the weekend that an album?
It's like out? Saturday, and it's like it came out on Thursday.
That is amazing. It's a crazy story.
It's the opening song, right? Hey, in total swagger, like, hey, everybody, check it out. Did
he reference like that they were there,
so
like
great.
the Beatles' new song or anything? Does he even? We know.
No, I think he just walked out on stage and was like, it's 20 years ago today.
Right.
The way it goes.
And he already owns it.
I think everybody in the whole place is like, holy shit.
Get that guy.
Yeah. Wow. Yep.
And rightly so.
So let's get back to this club, the Beatles in the club, and you kind of were sounded like you were had a story that you were.
Well, it's like how just freaking good the band is at this point. Like, how you think, oh, it'd be so great to see so and so. I'm feeling, I'm torn between Beatles Hamburg or Beatles Cavern, like, but it seems like as we all know, the Beatles peaked in 61.
But again, what's the capacity at the Cavern? Like 150?
It's like 600 people they could cram in there. Yeah, but it's like a total death.
I think it was 350. Ish.
Yeah.
And it's like they got 600 guys. 600, 650.
Yeah,
would we say it's comparable to like what Maxwell's could fit in there, or no?
No, I think Maxwell's jammed is like 250, 300.
Yeah, man.
Like that's I think that's oversold at Maxwell's.
Yeah, that's tight in there. Like when you go back in there, like you kind of go, wow, I can't believe I saw the Buzzcocks in here.
Yeah,
you're like, it's tiny. You're like, this is really narrow.
Now I know why I could smell Husker Du in here.
Right.
Yeah.
I saw those.
Or the flaming lips.
Guys there.
Yeah.
They're
like raw too. Yeah.
Holy smokes.
And then, sitting down and eating dinner with, someone from Tom Tricoli's dog. We mentioned this band the other day off of SST. What was the band that did Peace Frog?
The Doors.
No, the SST, the SST band that covered it. Saccharine Trust.
Saccharine Trust. Yeah.
Sitting down and having a bite to eat with the guitar player.
You were?
Yeah. Back in the day.
All right.
Nice. That was like one of the most beloved in-house bands. Like, I mean, the people at the label loved them. Like their musician to musician love was definitely.
I have one of their records. There's no doubt about it. Like there's a SST Saccharine Trust in my collection somewhere.
I mean, I would readily admit I was not like an avid fan. I mean, I was probably early on to me going to one of my first shows, first or second show, I would say, like that in that era. And they were opening up for Black Flag, I would guess. It was probably Tom Tricoli's and Saccharine Trust and Black Flag, some kind of bill like that.
You just
as was the Neeg Heist.
Neeg Heist, yes. With Mugger.
We were waiting
Mugger's the front man. I told you Mugger was essentially the accountant at SST.
That is a crazy story. But so when they're again getting on this, like, so they're such a hot band that they're causing like a riot when they play in the crowd. The crowd is so worked up.
No. This is there's gangs. Like they would play to like the north side of Liverpool, and it's like tough. And there's gangs, and they go. It's Teddy Boy, like real Teddy Boys, and they depending on where they play, like so the Cavern was like the most the most sophisticated of like the crowds they had. It was
right. They're still out playing all these other like. Oh, we got to go to Garston,
and so
to play, like some,
but
some like Union Hall, kind of stuff, like we're playing this, and it was just
Hamilton.
All Ted's.
Hamilton Hall was supposed to be a particularly bad area,
give me an explanation of the character of the Ted or the word.
Oh,
like a greaser?
Teddy Boy is like a greaser. Leather as opposed versus the modern mod,
right.
Who were like, held a job and, motorcycle versus scooter, but, Ted's were, kind of first and they were, that's what, and the, greasers, they like, Marlon Brando, James Dean were Tedish, and,
which of the Beatles, of course, were right up until 1961 for sure. They were still holding on to that.
They're still at this point. They're still in late 61. Brian Epstein cleans them up. So at this point, until he puts them in the suits and stuff.
Yeah. So let me before you take off on that one, let me chime in with this. Do you think the real Teddy kind of guys, the greasers, are like, fuck those guys now? They're sold out. They're equivalent of saying they sold out now that they're all cleaned up and.
After the fact, I don't know. I mean, I think the Teds were just there for the Teds. I don't know if we're fans. That was just like, it was a good place to go do a punch up. It's kind of like when you go to shows and you're like, they're like the pit starts and you're like, dude, this is like a folk act. Why is there a pit?
Yeah. They're right.
Famously